Hello guys, welcome back to a page in the chapter, or welcome if you are new here. I have had a very spontaneous idea. If you guys have been around for a little while, then you'll know that a couple months ago I did a reading vlog where I only read continuations to help me get some of my series off my TBR, because I have a very bad habit of starting series and not finishing them. And ever since that video, I don't think I've read even like one continuation. Like, it's a major like crisis how many series I have on my TBR, and there's so many that I want to start and I can't yet, so I'm just stuck in this limbo of feeling guilty about starting new series but not wanting to finish my old ones. So we're doing another continuation vlog. This is a very last minute idea. It came about when I decided to pick up The Subtle Knife, which is book 2 in the His Dark Materials series, and I was thinking about this vlog and things like that and the fact that I'd done this before, and then I realised that that book is a continuation, and it all just clicked into place, and I decided literally like an hour ago that I was going to film this video today. So if you guys like seeing themed reading vlogs, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button. Stay tuned for future content. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Page and Chapter to keep up to date with what I'm reading and how I'm reviewing it in real time. And the books that we're going to be tackling in this reading vlog are of course The Subtle Knife by Phillip Pullman, The Merciless Ones by Namina Forna, and Twisted Hate by Ana Huang, which is book 3 in the Twisted series. So we've got 2 fantasies and 1 romance, because I can't really read fantasies lately and all of my series are fantasy series, so I think it's time that we try and like motivate myself to read these. I do hope that you guys enjoy this vlog, and I will catch up with you in a moment. I am 150 pages into this book and I can see why so many people told me to read it. Like, there is so much discussion of archaeology and anthropology in this book. Why did it take me so long to read it? I am enjoying the second one a lot more than I enjoyed the first one, but I'm really struggling to see how the storyline matches up and like links. But I think that's because I read the first one like 8 months ago now. I read it in December and I didn't think much of it, so I clearly just haven't really retained a lot of the information that maybe would have been helpful to this book, but that's okay. The good thing is that I'm enjoying it more, and that's really like all that matters, so I'm okay with that. I can live with that. Loving all the Arcanum references. It's just throwing me right back to undergrad. I'm really excited to see what happens throughout the rest of the book. It is feeling like very random incidents right now, but I'm hoping it will all make sense as I get further into it. I finished The Subtle Knife. I did it. We're coming into this room because my boyfriend's watching TV and the woofers are in here. So I finished The Subtle Knife. I would give this maybe like 3.54 stars. I had a really much better time with it than I did the first book, and I gave the first book 3 stars, so maybe I'd give this one 4. There's a lot of death and character deaths in this series, given I would categorise this as a middle grade rather than a YA. That's a lot of death to expose some children to. I've also seen some reviews that this series gets very religious. Personally, in this particular book, I didn't see it, other than like there's one little plot reveal. Maybe the next book would be super religious, but this one was fine. All in all, I just really enjoyed it. I didn't really have many thoughts about it. Like, I'm too old to be reading it really, but I just really enjoyed it. I really want to watch the TV show now. Yeah, I wish that I had more in-depth thoughts on this book, but I'm finally getting a hype around this series. I love that it's all tied up in archaeology, theology, and physics, and I love the fact that they've like drawn this link between theology and physics, which I know that there is one, but it was really nice to see that like drawn out explicitly in this book. I was just having a very good time with it. I wish that I had better thoughts, but I do not. So I have now finished The Subtle Knife by Phillip Pullman. This is book 2 in the His Dark Material series, and I would honestly give this book like a 3.5 stars. You kind of start off in this book not knowing how it links to the first one, or at least I didn't pick up on how it links, and then when it kind of all comes together, I found it to be a very satisfying... Can I help you? I found it to be a very satisfying like wrap up and link and conclusion. Marvin, he's standing on me right now, he's on my leg, so I'm very glad that I actually did get to this. Marvin, very glad that I actually did get to this book because I enjoyed it quite a lot actually, and I'm looking forward to the colder months when I can go into the Amber Spyglass, which is book 3. So maybe we can do another video like this. Oh, we're being so needy today. So I've been umming and ahhing about what to read next because I feel like I should read the Merciless ones, which is like book 2 to the Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. I've tried to read that one before. I don't know if I'm really going to get into it. Fantasy has been quite hit and miss for me lately, so I've been a bit torn between reading that and Twisted Hate next. Both will get read for this video, but I just don't really know how to do it. But I think whilst I'm really on like a good reading thing, I'm gonna read Twisted Hate just because I'm doing so well on the reading right now that I don't really want to get myself into a slump this early in the month. Like, I still have quite a lot of reading to get done. I don't want to risk a slump. Like, whilst I'm enjoying reading, let's just keep reading books that I know I'm going to enjoy. So I'm gonna pick up Twisted Hate. It's really sunny, we're having another heat wave by the looks of it. I'm in the mood for a romance. I'm also in the mood to keep like speedily reading books and feel motivated and find enjoyment in books again. So Twisted Hate it is. I also curled my hair today and I don't know if I'm liking it. I'm hoping the poofiness goes down by the time I have to go to work later. What is wrong with you today? We want to be babied. Have you ever seen a dog that likes to be held like a baby and bounced? If you don't bounce him, he doesn't stay. You have to bounce him. This is what he gets irritated with me for. Like, if he's barking at you, this is what he wants. So this is going to be my day now. It's alarming, but in the past like 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6, I've read 200 pages of Twisted Hate. I've become a little bit, I won't say obsessed, I'm not obsessed with it. It's not as good to me as Twisted Game. I'm not loving Jules and Josh as much as I loved Reese and Bridget, but I do love that this book has only one bed trope. I do love that it is like enemies to lovers, and I do love that so far all of the spicy scenes have been absolutely hate filled. It has been a very interesting way to have the spice scenes be in there. I've never seen a book really do it that way before, because it's like not only casual, it's just kind of like they genuinely hate each other still, and so I'm really enjoying that element. I'd say in terms of like darkness, this book also kind of dark, also deals with some like big topics. So Twisted Love, book 1 in the Twisted series, was quite dark, dealt with some dark topics. Book 2 to me was fine, just dealt with some like political and like questionable topics about feminism and stuff, but for me that's fine to read. I feel like that's quite normal for a contemporary. And this book seems quite dark. I am feeling very bad for Jules. Anytime she feels a stab of anxiety on the page, I feel a stab of anxiety for her, because I know that Miss Anna will do her characters dirty. She did it in book 1, she'll do it in book 3. But I am like on a high. It's been a long time since it hasn't been a long time because I literally did it on Thursday, but it's been, I feel like prior to this month, reading 200 pages in a day didn't seem like something I could do, and I've done it twice. I did it on Thursday and I've done it today on Saturday, so I'm a very happy bunny. I'm just loving reading at the moment. I'm on a real high. I'm loving this vlog, and then it's getting me to read some of these books that I'm actually now really enjoying. I do have to go to work now, but 200 pages into Twisted Hate, we're off to a good start, and we'll see what progress I can make tomorrow. Maybe another 200 pages? It has taken 3 days, but I have finally finished Twisted Hate. Preferred Twisted Games, but I like this one more than Twisted Love. So I guess really what I'm saying is, of the 3 that I've read, this one ranks in like 2nd place. Don't know how to rate it or really review it. It was just good fun. Definitely some trigger warnings to look out for and beware of, but I'd still say it's not as dark as Twisted Love. I did like that in this book it was Jules who messed up. Like, it's very rare, I feel like, to find a romance book where it's not the male main character that causes the conflict, it is the female. And it was interesting because we get to read from Jules's perspective the whole way through, so to see her being the one messing up. And the Twisted series tends to have very, very dark kind of like criminal conflicts, so to see that from Jules's perspective was very cool and different from a romance, and I did really enjoy that. This is quite a big book though. I'm not entirely sure it needed to be that long, and I'm not entirely sure there needed to be as many hookup scenes as there were. I definitely could have read this book faster if it wasn't for the fact that there would be another spicy scene and I would be in public and I would have to stop reading. I just don't feel comfortable reading that in public. So probably too many. Still very enjoyable, would definitely still recommend. I feel like really all I'm saying is that if you're going to read the Twisted series, just read from Twisted Games. But then I feel like Ava and Alex, I think that's his name, are just such like main characters in all of the other books still, that even though they say you don't need to read the first book to read the rest of them, I kind of feel like you do need to know Ava and Alex's story to read the rest of them. Like, they do link, and I do feel like having that link is very helpful. To read Twisted Games, I wouldn't say you needed to read Twisted Love, but to read this one, I'd say it would definitely be helpful to you to have read Twisted Love. And it's kind of clear to me that our author has a favourite, because why are Ava and Alex still such a main part of this series? But anyway, I don't know what I will be rating it, but I do know that it was very enjoyable and good solid fun. The only problem is that now I am back on my romance bullshit and I do not want to go and read a fantasy. The Merciless Ones is the next book on the TBR to read, and that is like a feminist fantasy, not a romance, not a spicy new adult romance, which is what I want to read. So I'm kind of stuck. We'll give it a try. We'll try the fantasy. I think I've made a mistake by reading this now, because I just want to read romances. Bloody romances, they're so addictive. Right, please ignore the pyjama top. I am about to get ready for work, but I'm 166 pages into the Merciless Ones. Sorry, we're in a heat wave right now. It is sunny. So yeah, I am 160 pages into the Merciless Ones. It's quite a slow start. In some ways it picks up right where the last book left off and is like, just drops you straight in again, but in terms of like getting me invested and like an actual exciting plot, to me it's a little bit slow. This one does feel a little bit more young adult than the last one felt, but that could very much just be my mood. But I'm trying very, very hard to get into this book and enjoy this book. And I will say, I love the fact that you have no idea who is good and who is evil. I am loving this element. Like, you have no idea. There's lots of hints that the Gilded Ones could be the evil ones, but obviously you also know that they're probably the good ones, and you have the other evil ones from the first book. Like, I have no idea what's happening, and I'm actually kind of enjoying that, because I think sometimes fantasy books, and particularly YA fantasy books, can be a little predictable. As of yet, I cannot see where this one's going, and I'm enjoying that. So I'm hoping to get a decent amount read today. Definitely hoping that I can have it finished by the end of the week. I really hope that I enjoy it, because I gave the first book 5 stars, so if I hate this one, I don't know if I'll continue with the series. Wish me luck with this book. All I can say right now is that I am confused. And my confusion right now is a good thing. Okay, I am 258 pages into the Merciless Ones, and I just cannot get into this book. I'm not enjoying myself, and I've read 250 pages of a book that I'm just not really enjoying, which is so strange to me, because the first one I read in like one day practically. Like, I flew through it. It really captured my attention. I loved the feminist message of the book, but I just don't really like that in this book. In this book, we kind of follow Dika as she deals with the consequences of what she did in the first book, and she's like fighting battles for the Gilded Ones, but also kind of learning that the Gilded Ones have been lying, so they're probably also not good. And whilst I like this message of like, okay, the Gilded Ones, the good ones, also aren't good, and like who is good and what is the resolution of all this going to be, I'm just not enjoying it. The actual like plot of this book feels like a filler book. They're just kind of going around doing like little quests. I don't know, it's just not capturing my attention, and we are in like another 40-degree heat wave. All I want to do is read my contemporary rom-coms. I don't want to read this. I don't want to force myself to read a fantasy book that I'm not enjoying just because of this reading series vlog. I think really what we can just do here is DNF this series, and I don't want to because I did love the Gilded Ones so much. I would say it's one of my favourite books. I would happily reread it, but I just don't think I will be continuing on like with the rest of the series. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll give this another go in the winter time, but I highly doubt that. I did enjoy The Subtle Knife, and so I thought, okay, my fantasy vibe is back. I can go into this and enjoy it and finally give it a fair shot, but all I've wanted to do is read rom-coms since picking up this book, so I don't know if this is a this book can't hold my attention thing, or if it is a me just not really wanting to read fantasy at the moment. Yeah, I think at 250 pages we can say that I've given it a very fair shot. Normally I would kind of only go to like 150 page mark, but I wanted to really give it a good go for this vlog. And to be honest, when I was reading it, it was fine, but it still wasn't like, you know, I'd keep thinking every chapter, okay, I'll get to the end of the chapter and then I'll stop reading, I've done enough, but then kind of forcing myself to read another chapter. And then when I would put it down, I have absolutely zero inclination to go back to it. So I just don't think, ooh, nearly dropped the book then. I just don't think this book is for me, sadly. But if you enjoyed the first one, I would definitely give the second one a go, and then please just let me know your review so I can know if it's me or if it's the book. I'm going to read Beach Read now because I just want some rom-coms in my life. At least I'm not starting a new series, at least. And so I have read some more continuations. I have made some more progress on my goal of trying to get some series off my TBR. Unfortunately, there were no series finished in 2 days vlog. I feel like trilogies are just not the norm anymore, and so I'm finding it harder and harder and longer to finish series, and that is also why it's become such a problem for me to finish series, because they're not just 3 books anymore. But made some progress on His Dark Materials trilogy. Only 1 book left to read of that, but unfortunately I won't be reading that until November, December time. So that's going to be one of the last series of the year that I get off my TBR. And then also made some progress with the Twisted series. I believe I only have 1 more book to read of the Twisted series, which is Stella's story. Don't really see that one being a problem for me to finish. Romances are just not the problem children, like it's fantasy that is the problem for me. And then in some ways I made progress with the Merciless ones. I did read 250 pages of it. As a series, I just don't see myself continuing with it, and so in some ways I've gotten a series off my TBR because I'm DNFing the series, but it's not the way I wanted it to go. And please don't take this as like a solid review, because it could just be my lack of fantasy mood, and I did love the Gilded Ones. I gave it a 5 stars, and I do not give YA fantasies 5 stars very often, but I really enjoyed the Gilded Ones. I do recommend it, and I'd even recommend that you try the Merciless ones. I don't know how much of this is just my mood, so I feel awful reviewing it this way and saying I'm going to DNF it, because I just don't want to influence anyone to not pick up this series when I do think that this one may be on me. But at the end of the day, 250 pages is a lot of time to give a book a chance, and I still didn't enjoy it then, and life's too short, so I've put the book down, and I don't think I will be picking up the 3rd one. So in some ways a series is off my TBR now. If you guys enjoyed this reading vlog and you would like to see more kind of challengey themed type of reading vlogs, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload twice a week on a Wednesday and a Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. Yeah, I hope that you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything that you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future. And I will see you on Friday for my next video. Bye guys.